Chatfuel School is now in session. Welcome to our weekly class where the Chatfuel team and the top experts in the industry will cover the most important topics you need to know as a chatbot builder and marketer. I'm Andrew, Chatfuel's head of video production.
And I'm Yelena, Chatfuel's key account manager.
Welcome back to Chatfuel School. So in case you missed it, we are changing the time and format of the show. Instead of it airing live every Wednesday, we're shifting the time to Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific. And instead of it being a live show, it's now in a pre-recorded format. And this is really exciting for you as the viewer because it'll mean you're getting more value out of these shows. It allows us to interview many more experts in the industry, gain their insights, and then edit them together in a more concise way to deliver value to you faster. So today's topic is focused about brands and what they should be doing in response to everything that's happening right now in the world. Everything from racial injustice to the changing economy to the continuing pandemic. These are all issues that brands simply cannot afford to ignore. And we have an amazing guest lineup today. You'll learn a lot about how you can respond to these crises in a more thoughtful and mindful way. But before we get to all of those actionable insights, Yelena, please tell us a little bit more about our guests today.
Well, Andrew, today we're talking to Stephanie, who's the founder of Black Girl Group. This is a freelance company that connects African-American women creatives with brands who are advertising to the same demographic. Stephanie actually made it her life's work to empower this community. Next, we'll be talking to Zakia, who's the owner of Natural Soap by Zakia. She makes and sells homemade soaps, but not only that, she also teaches others on how to do it at home on her live soap school. Zakia really focuses on fostering personal connection with customers, and she puts a little bit of TLC in every bar of soap, which is something we all need at the moment. And last but not least, we'll be talking to Eric, the CEO of Hawk Media. This is an ad agency with offices in Los Angeles and New York City. Their clients include Verizon, Red Bull, Alibaba, and many others. And to kick things off today, we're chatting with Stephanie. The first thing we asked her to help us with is how should brands be responding right now to the conversation about racial injustice? What is it that they should be saying, and what is it that they definitely shouldn't be saying?
Yeah, so what I'll say first is that saying nothing is not the answer. So as a publicist on that side of me, I've often told my clients that saying no comment is making a comment. And in the same terms is silence is violence. If you're not speaking up, you're saying a lot to your consumers and your customers that you really don't care about the issues at hand. And I think that's very important for brands who are afraid to speak out to keep in mind that by not saying anything, you're making a very loud statement. In fact, I actually heard someone say on social media, to all those brands who are being silent, we hear you loud and clear. And that is true. We do hear you loud and clear. And we're watching, right? So we're watching our favorite brands right now to see who's talking and who's not. And then those who are speaking, what I will say is that I think lots of brands are afraid to get it wrong.
Exactly. So how can brands get it right? Like, what sort of language should they be using?
One thing that I've seen a lot with brands is that lots of people have said, we stand with our people of color who work with us. And I think because right now what we're facing is an issue that America has with Black people, I think brands should not be afraid to say, we stand with our Black colleagues, we stand with our Black professionals, we stand with our Black employees. I think it's super important that you make that very clear because people of color is not monolithic. We are not all the same. Yes, we all fight our battles. We all have our same. There are many issues that we fight that are the same, but I think the issues that we're seeing right now in America is the impact that America has had on Black people. And I think it's super important to be very clear and not be afraid to say Black or don't be afraid to say African American. And I think it's important to say that because I think there are so many brands and people in general who are afraid of those terms because they don't want to come off insensitive. And I promise you, you will not come off as insensitive for saying that. But that's one thing that I want to say.
So speaking of being sensitive, what are some brands that we can look to for guidance? Who are the brands who are responding in a positive and thoughtful way in this situation?
So I'm gonna say two that I have really been so proud of, and that's Nike and Ben and Jerry's. And the reason why I believe they got it right is because they've been doing the work for many years, right? So they have been highlighting the importance of Black lives. They've been highlighting police brutality. They've been highlighting systematic racism for years. And so now they're able to not only put out a statement, but they're able to have actionable items behind them that will help push them forward even more, right? So like Ben and Jerry, not only did they release their statement, but they gave, I think, maybe 15 to 20 points of action that they're implementing today on how they can help in this fight against racism, and the same with Nike. So I think it's bigger than just making a statement. It's about, what are you gonna do whenever the news stops talking about this? What are you gonna do whenever it's no longer an opportunity for you to gain visibility through PR by speaking out? What are you gonna do whenever, 10 years have passed by and we haven't gotten anywhere yet? Are you still gonna be enduring the fight with us, or are you gonna go back to business as usual?
Stephanie, you said Nike is doing good work. I want to take a look at the video they posted in response to racial violence.
Stephanie, so Nike donated $40 million to Black community organizations. At the same time, Amazon donated $10 million. How can smaller e-commerce brands who don't have that kind of a budget still help out, even if they are not able to donate monetarily?
Maybe you have expertise or knowledge that you can share with someone else. I mean, sharing knowledge is also a way for you to empower other people. It's not always about the exchange of funds or the exchange of financial resources. Sometimes it's exchanging what's in here, because I may not know what you know. And if you can share that information, you're also contributing to that change as well. Also on social media, right? If you see, something that's important, a fund or an organization who's doing incredible work, it's okay, amplify those voices. Let other people in your network know those people exist. We can't assume that we all have the same timeline on social media. So maybe if you opt to share, again, it's the little things that make a big difference right now. And I don't think we should all just limit ourselves to just the financial resources.
Absolutely. I'm wondering, what other tips do you have for e-commerce businesses, whether they're small or large? What sort of pitfalls should they be avoiding?
And I know anyone who's watching this is probably going to say, oh my God, I've been guilty of this. And it's okay, because you have time to fix this. But I encourage you, please do not have a sale and then agree to donate a portion of your sales to Black Lives Matter or to X organization. And the reason why I say that is because if you are having a sale and that's the only way you can donate, what it appears is that you're using this whole Black Lives Matter movement as a way to profit, as a way to be able to capitalize off of what's happening, and then say, hey, if you buy from me, then I'll donate. No, if you want to donate, if you're sincere about what you're doing, you don't need sales in order for you to be able to donate. Go ahead and donate now without the sales, because at the end of the day, you cannot, as a brand, afford for people to look at your brand and see that you're profiting off of a Black life being taken, because that's not okay. And that also comes off as being very racially insensitive.
That's a great example of what not to do. But what other actions should brands be taking?
I definitely think that brands need to make sure that they're diversifying their photos that they are using, because photos do matter, especially whenever you're trying to cater to all ethnicities. What I will say, though, unfortunately, from even what I've discovered, is that in terms of like stock photos, because lots of people have to rely on stock photos because we don't have huge photography budgets. There are just not that many good stock photos of other ethnicities out there. So I totally understand. I mean, I think that's a bigger problem that also needs to be addressed. But one site that I will recommend is called Unsplash. It's free stock photography, and they have done an incredible job of making sure they have diverse images out there. And I think it's okay, again, like if you're trying to market and you're trying to advertise to African Americans or Hispanics or Asian Americans or whatever group, or moms or dads, whatever the case may be, I think it's okay for you to be able to utilize images that reflect the audience that you're trying to reach. Because at the end of the day, if I see a representation of someone who looks like me, even if they're not the same race as me, but maybe we have, it's a mom, or maybe it's, a jogger or a boxer. If I feel like I can connect on some level with that person, then yes, I'm going to be more prone to buy from them, because I'm like, hey, they thought about me when they created this ad. And I think the same applies from a racial standpoint. If you want to make sure that you're targeting effectively, you got to show your customers, the consumers, someone who looks like them too.
All right, Stephanie Cottle, founder of blackgirlgroup.com. Stephanie, again, thank you so much for your time today and all these amazing tips. If you are looking for more advice on how to be racially sensitive in your brand, then please reach out to Stephanie. Again, that's blackgirlgroup.com. Stick around. We'll be back in 30 seconds.